The stars twinkled peacefully above Earth as Dr. Jin-Woo Park sat at his monitoring station, his eyes fixed on the quantum sensor readings. The quiet hum of equipment filled the International Space Station Alpha's control room, while his colleagues went about their regular duties. It was supposed to be another ordinary day in space, until it wasn't. The first unusual blips appeared at 300 hours. Dr. Park adjusted his glasses, leaning closer to the screen. After 15 years of studying space phenomena, he had never seen patterns quite like these. The energy signatures were completely foreign, defying known physics. "Captain Kim," he called out, his voice steady despite his racing heart. "You need to see this." Captain Hae-Nul Kim crossed the control room in quick strides, her usual confident demeanor shifting to concern as she studied the readings. Before she could respond, every screen in the control room lit up with an incoming transmission. The image that appeared showed a being unlike anything human eyes had witnessed before. The alien stood nearly 8 feet tall, with iridescent skin that seemed to shimmer between blue and green. 4 eyes, arranged in a diamond pattern, stared down at them with what could only be described as disdain. "I am High Overseer Talith of the Galactic Council," the being announced in perfect English, though its mouth didn't move in sync with the words. "We have been observing your species for some time." The control room fell silent. Years of training for first contact hadn't prepared them for this moment. Captain Kim straightened her uniform and stepped forward. "This is Captain Hae-Nul Kim of the International Space Station Alpha. On behalf of Earth, we welcome you." The alien's upper eyes narrowed. "How quaint. Your attempts at formal greeting are noted, though unnecessary. We have already made our decision regarding your planet's status." Dr. Sun-Mi Lee, Earth's chief negotiator, joined the transmission from ground control in Geneva. Her years of diplomatic experience showed in her measured response. "High Overseer, we appreciate your interest in Earth. However, any decisions regarding our planet should involve proper discussion and mutual agreement." Talith made a sound that might have been a laugh. "You misunderstand. This is not a negotiation. Earth will become a protectorate of the Galactic Council. Your technology is primitive, your society unstructured. We offer you guidance and protection." The temperature in the control room seemed to drop. Dr. Park watched as Captain Kim's knuckles whitened where she gripped the console. The implications were clear. Earth was being colonized, not contacted. "With respect," Dr. Lee began again, "Earth is a sovereign planet. We welcome peaceful relations, but we cannot accept." The transmission cut off mid-sentence. At first, they thought it was a technical malfunction. Then the emergency alerts began flooding in. The Horizon, Earth's newest research station, had gone silent. 300 people, scientists, engineers, families with children. All communications suddenly ceased. The station's life support signatures vanished from monitoring systems. Dr. Park watched in horror as the massive alien vessel moved into position above the horizon's last known coordinates. His sensors picked up energy readings that went off the charts before returning to normal. Where the research station had been, there was nothing but empty space. They just... Captain Kim couldn't finish her sentence. The message was clear. This wasn't first contact. It was first conquest. Emergency protocols activated worldwide. Military bases went on high alert. In the control room of the International Space Station Alpha, Dr. Park and his colleagues watched helplessly as more alien ships emerged from fold space, their massive forms blocking out the stars. The next transmission was brief. "Your species requires demonstration of proper authority. The removal of your research station serves as an adequate example. Prepare for integration into the Galactic Council's protectorate system. Resistance will result in further corrective measures." As the alien ships took up orbital positions around Earth, Dr. Park thought about everything humanity had achieved. Their dreams of peaceful space exploration, their hopes for joining a larger galactic community. None of them had imagined it would happen like this. But in the grim faces of his colleagues, he saw something the aliens had failed to consider. Humans didn't respond well to threats. They didn't bow easily to bullies, no matter how technologically advanced. And they never, ever forgot those they lost. The next 24 hours would change the course of human history, but not in the way the Galactic Council expected. Because they had made one crucial mistake. They had made humanity mad. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, Director Do-hyun Kang stared at the holographic display showing Earth's defense readiness. Red indicators blinked everywhere, a constant reminder of how unprepared they were for this threat. But that was about to change. The Global Defense Initiative's underground facility buzzed with activity. Scientists and engineers worked around the clock, their determination visible in their tired eyes and coffee-stained lab coats. They had managed to salvage pieces of alien technology from debris that had fallen to Earth during the first encounter. "Director, you need to see this," Professor Ji-Hai Choi called from her research station. Her team had been studying the damaged alien shield generator for weeks. She pulled up a complex diagram on the main screen. "The aliens use quantum fields in ways we never imagined," she explained, pointing to the intricate patterns. "Their shield technology doesn't just block attacks, it exists in multiple states simultaneously. That's why our conventional weapons couldn't penetrate it." Director Kang nodded, his expression thoughtful. "Can we replicate it?" "Better." Professor Choi's eyes lit up with excitement. "We can improve it. The aliens rely on pure theory, but we found practical applications they never considered." Across the world, similar breakthroughs were happening. In Seoul, weapons specialist Taiwan Lee stood in a reinforced testing chamber, watching as his team prepared another experiment. They had mounted a simple railgun next to an alien energy weapon. The aliens forgot something basic, Lee explained to the observers behind the blast shield. They became so focused on energy weapons, they ignored physical impact. He pressed a button, and the railgun fired a specially designed projectile at the test shield. The shield flickered and failed. The projectile, traveling at hypersonic speed, punched through cleanly. "Their shields are tuned for energy absorption," Lee continued. "They never expected anyone to use something as primitive as physical ammunition." Back in the Rocky Mountain facility, Director Kang received reports from research teams worldwide. In Mumbai, scientists had decoded parts of the alien communication system. Australian engineers had reverse-engineered their propulsion technology. Brazilian researchers had made breakthroughs in understanding their power generation. "They underestimated us," Kang murmured, reviewing the reports. "They thought we were primitive because we hadn't mastered their technology. But that's not how humans work." The aliens had given humanity access to advanced technology, and humans were doing what they did best: adapting, improving, and finding new ways to use it. Where alien designs were elegant but rigid, human modifications added flexibility. Where alien weapons were powerful but predictable, human versions were innovative and unpredictable. Professor Choi's team worked through another night, fueled by determination and the memory of the Horizon Station. They had lost friends and colleagues in that attack. Now, they would make sure it never happened again. "The quantum shield modifications are ready for testing," she announced, her voice tired but proud. "We've integrated human control systems that can adapt to different types of attacks, something the aliens never thought to do." In the testing chamber, the new shield generator hummed to life. It was a hybrid of alien technology and human engineering, less elegant than the original, but far more versatile. When they fired both energy weapons and kinetic projectiles at it, the shield held. Director Kang watched the successful test with grim satisfaction. Humanity was learning, adapting, and preparing. The aliens thought they were dealing with a primitive species that would simply accept their rule. They didn't understand that humans had something they lacked: the ability to think outside established patterns. "How long until we can begin production?" he asked Professor Choi. 2 weeks for the first batch of shields. Lee's weapons will be ready sooner. We're also working on something else, a way to detect their fold space signatures before they emerge. They won't be able to surprise us again." Kang looked at the tired but determined faces around him. In just weeks, they had achieved what the aliens thought would take centuries. Not because humans were smarter or more advanced, but because they had something to fight for. Their freedom, their dignity, and their right to choose their own path among the stars. The aliens had given humanity their first glimpse of advanced technology. Now, humanity would show them what happened when you combine that technology with human ingenuity and determination. The silent preparation continued, and Earth was almost ready to show the galaxy exactly what they were capable of. Commander Min-Ho Choi stood on the bridge of the EDF Defiant, watching as the alien fleet emerged from Fold space near Mars. Their massive ships cast long shadows across the red planet's surface, their hulls gleaming with an otherworldly sheen. To anyone scanning them, the Earth Defense Force vessels would appear primitive, exactly as planned. "They're moving into attack formation," reported Lieutenant Park from the sensor station. 6 heavy cruisers, 12 support vessels. They're not even bothering to shield their communications. Min-Ho allowed himself a small smile. The aliens were so confident in their superiority that they weren't taking basic precautions. Their transmissions, easily intercepted, revealed their contempt. "Just another primitive cleanup operation," the alien commander was saying. "These humans need to learn their place." The Earth Defense Force had positioned its ships in what appeared to be a disorganized scatter. 10 vessels, built in secret using hybrid technology, waited for the enemy to make their move. Among them was the Swift Response, commanded by Captain Yuna Kim, their best tactical officer. "All ships, maintain current positions," Min-Ho ordered. "Let them think we're panicking." The alien fleet advanced slowly, their energy weapons powering up. They expected the humans to either flee or surrender. They didn't know that every EDF ship carried weapons and defenses that had been specifically designed to counter their technology. "They're within range," Lieutenant Park announced. "Their weapons are hot." Min-Ho took a deep breath. Everything they had worked for came down to this moment. "All ships, execute Pattern Delta." The response was immediate and precisely coordinated. The seemingly scattered Earth vessels moved with sudden purpose, their formation shifting into an attack pattern the aliens had never seen before. Before the alien fleet could react, the first salvo of hybrid weapons struck their lead ships. Specialized kinetic rounds, enhanced with reversed engineered alien technology, punched through their quantum shields. Modified energy weapons, operating on frequencies the aliens had never thought to defend against, disrupted their ship systems. "Direct hits on 3 cruisers," reported Lieutenant Park, unable to keep the excitement from his voice. "Their shields are failing." The alien fleet's response was slow and confused. They had expected to face primitive weapons, lasers and missiles they could easily deflect. Instead, they found themselves under attack by weapons that combined human ingenuity with their own technology in ways they had never imagined. On the Swift Response, Captain Yuna Kim coordinated the second wave of attacks. Her ship's new stealth systems, another human improvement on alien tech, allowed her to strike from positions the enemy couldn't predict. "Target their command and control systems," she ordered. "Don't give them time to adapt." The battle that was supposed to last days was over in less than an hour. 3 alien cruisers drifted powerless in space, their crews trapped inside by their own disabled systems. The rest of their fleet had scattered, their confidence shattered by the unexpected defeat. Min-Ho opened a channel to all ships. "Status report." The responses came in quickly. 2 EDF ships had taken minor damage. No casualties. The hybrid shields had performed even better than expected. "Captain Kim, send our message to the Galactic Council," he ordered. Yuna nodded, her face appearing on his command screen. She opened a broad spectrum channel, ensuring every alien ship would receive the transmission. "Galactic Council, this is the Earth Defense Force. You have witnessed a fraction of our capabilities. This is your only warning. Leave our system or face the consequences." She ended the transmission without waiting for a response. The message was clear: humanity would not be subjugated. As the disabled alien ships were surrounded by EDF vessels, Minho reflected on how far they had come. In just a few months, humans had not only mastered alien technology, but improved upon it. They had proved that determination and innovation could overcome even the most advanced opponents. "Sir," Lieutenant Park called out, "we're detecting fold space signatures. The remaining alien ships are retreating." Minho nodded. "Let them go. Let them tell the Council what happened here." The battle for Mars would become known as humanity's warning shot, the moment when the galaxy realized that technological superiority alone wasn't enough. The real power lay in how you use that technology, and humans had just proved they could use it better than anyone had expected. As the Earth Defense Force secured their victory, Minho knew this was just the beginning. The Galactic Council would return, but next time, they would come with respect rather than contempt. Humanity had earned its place among the stars, not through submission, but through ingenuity and courage. Hidden in the shadow of an asteroid, Colonel Sung Min Park watched through the view screen as another alien supply convoy moved through the sector. His small fleet of modified stealth ships waited silently, their crews ready. The aliens still hadn't figured out why their supply lines kept failing, and that was exactly how he wanted it. "Target confirmed," his tactical officer whispered, though in space no one could hear them anyway. 5 cargo vessels, 2 escort ships, standard formation. Sung Min nodded. The aliens always used the same patterns, followed the same protocols. They never adapted, never changed their approach. That was their biggest weakness. "All ships, execute Operation Ghost," he ordered. The human vessels moved silently, using their hybrid stealth technology to approach the convoy from multiple angles. The alien sensors, designed to detect energy signatures, couldn't spot ships that barely emitted any energy at all. Back on Earth, Dr. Hai Jin Buck sat in her underground lab, studying recordings of alien behavior during previous encounters. Her psychological warfare division had made a breakthrough that was changing the entire way humanity fought this war. "Look at their reactions," she pointed out to her team. "When we attack in ways they consider illogical, they completely fall apart. They have no protocols for handling the unexpected." The screen showed multiple examples. Human ships playing dead only to strike when alien vessels came to investigate, cargo containers that looked abandoned but contained powerful weapons, and small fighters that deliberately flew into the range of alien weapons only to deploy countermeasures at the last second. In space, Sung Min's operation was proving her point again. His ship struck from behind asteroid fragments, using the space debris as cover. The alien escorts, programmed to watch for threats from clear space, never saw them coming. "Target their engines," Sung Min ordered. "Disable, don't destroy." His ships fired their hybrid weapons, combinations of kinetic rounds and energy pulses that the alien shields couldn't handle. Within minutes, the convoy was dead in space. "They're sending a distress signal," his communications officer reported. "Perfect. Let them call for help. Phase 2 begins now." While the alien reinforcements were on their way, human boarding teams entered the cargo vessels. They didn't steal the supplies, they modified them. Sung Min's engineers had become experts at sabotaging alien technology in ways that wouldn't be detected until it was used. Dr. Bake received the operation report with satisfaction. "See how they responded," she told her team. "They called for help immediately, exactly according to their protocol. They never considered that we might want them to do exactly that." Her research had shown that the aliens' rigid hierarchy and logical thinking made them predictable. They couldn't understand why humans would take risks that had low probability of success. They didn't grasp the concept of fighting against impossible odds. "To them, everything must make logical sense," she explained. "But humans, we're our most dangerous when logic says we should give up." Sung Min's fleet was already gone when the alien reinforcements arrived. They would find the convoy crews unharmed, the cargo apparently untouched. Only later would they discover that their supplies had been subtly altered, their weapons modified to malfunction at critical moments. The beauty of it, Dr. Bake told her superiors, is that they can't adapt to our tactics because they can't understand our thinking. They expect us to behave according to their logical patterns. The aliens' reports showed their growing frustration. Their superior technology should have guaranteed victory, but instead, they faced an enemy that refused to fight according to any rules they understood. In the diplomatic vessel, the alien representatives watched in amazement as their oppressors' mighty fleet fell into chaos. The Ardarian leader turned to Sujin, their crystalline features reflecting the light of distant explosions. For centuries, we believed resistance was impossible, they said. The Council's technology was too advanced, their fleets too powerful. But you humans, you've shown us something we had forgotten. And what's that? Sujin asked. That the strongest weapon isn't technology, it's the will to fight back. The battle turned into a rout. The alien fleet, unable to cope with human tactics, began to retreat in disorder. Over half their ships had been disabled or destroyed, while human casualties were minimal. Several alien vessels are signaling surrender, the communications officer reported to Jae-hyuk. They're requesting terms. In the diplomatic vessel, Sujin received an even more significant message. The Ardarian representative stood formally before her. The Ardarian Collective has made its decision, they announced. We will join Earth's alliance. And we are not alone. Other species are watching, learning. They see now that the Council can be defeated. As the human fleet secured their victory, Jae-hyuk allowed himself a moment of satisfaction. This wasn't just a military victory, it was a symbol. Earth had proven that the Council wasn't invincible, that their rule could be challenged. The message spread quickly through the galaxy. Species that had lived under Council control for generations began to look at their masters differently. They saw how human ingenuity and determination had overcome superior technology, and they began to wonder if they too could fight back. The tables hadn't just turned, they had been completely overturned. And this was only the beginning. General Hyun-woo Kim stood before the assembled leaders of 7 different species in the newly established Coalition Command Center. The massive chamber, built to accommodate beings of various sizes and atmospheric needs, hummed with energy and anticipation. The Council never expected this, he told the gathered representatives. They thought keeping us divided would keep us weak. They were wrong. On the main display, a map showed the spreading rebellion. Red markers indicated Council-controlled systems, while green showed liberated territories. The green was spreading, system by system, like a wave of hope across the galaxy. Captain Daehyun Park moved through the training grounds on New Terra, watching as beings from a dozen different species practiced human combat tactics. Some were tall and crystalline, others short and furry, but all shared the same determined look in their eyes. The key is adaptability, she explained to a group of Ardarian warriors. The Council expects you to fight in certain ways. We'll teach you to be unpredictable. A massive Krillian, its scale-covered body twice the size of a human, raised its hand. But our bodies are built for frontal assault. How can we change centuries of warrior tradition? Daehyun smiled. Watch this. She demonstrated a simple flanking maneuver, showing how even large warriors could use speed and surprise instead of brute force. The Krillians watched in fascination as their strongest warrior was outmaneuvered by someone half his size. In the diplomatic chamber, Ambassador Yoon addressed new allies from 3 more systems that had just broken free from Council control. We don't offer you another master, she explained. Earth learned long ago that true strength comes from cooperation, not domination. The revolution spread faster than anyone had expected. Species that had been enemies under Council rule found common ground in their fight for freedom. The Council's carefully maintained hierarchy began to crumble as more worlds chose to join the human-led coalition. General Kim coordinated the combined fleet's movements from the command center. Ships of different designs and capabilities worked together in ways the Council had never imagined possible. Human tactical officers served alongside alien crews, teaching them to think creatively and adapt to changing situations. Council forces approaching in Sector 7. A sensor operator reported. Standard attack formation. Let them come, Kim ordered. Show them what our combined fleet can do. The battle that followed demonstrated everything the Coalition had learned. Council ships, expecting to face traditional resistance, found themselves surrounded by vessels using modified human tactics. Former enemies worked together, covering each other's weaknesses and amplifying their strengths. In the training grounds, Captain Park watched with pride as her students mastered the art of unconventional warfare. The Krillians had learned to use their size as a distraction, while smaller, faster allies struck from unexpected angles. The crystalline Ardarians used their natural ability to reflect energy weapons to protect their more vulnerable teammates. We're not just teaching them to fight, she told her fellow instructors. We're teaching them to think differently, to question everything they were told about their limitations. Ambassador Hume's diplomatic efforts continued to bear fruit. More species joined the Coalition daily, bringing with them unique abilities and perspectives that strengthened the alliance. The Council's attempt to portray humans as primitive upstarts backfired as more races witnessed the effectiveness of Earth's methods. They told us humans were dangerous because they were unpredictable, an Ardarian elder told the Coalition Assembly. They were right about that, but they didn't understand that this unpredictability would be our salvation. The Council's rigid command structure proved to be its greatest weakness. Unable to adapt to fighting multiple species using human tactics, their fleets began to suffer defeat after defeat. Their once unquestioned authority crumbled in the face of unity they had never thought possible. General Kim received reports of another successful liberation. 3 more systems had broken free of Council control, their peoples choosing freedom over submission. The revolution wasn't just military. It was a fundamental change in how species viewed themselves and their place in the galaxy. In the training grounds, Captain Park's students graduated from basic tactics to advanced strategy. They learned not just how to fight, but when to fight, and more importantly, when not to fight. They learned that victory didn't always mean defeating an enemy. Sometimes it meant showing them a better way. The revolution in the stars continued to spread, unstoppable now that so many species had learned to believe in themselves. The Council had ruled through fear and division, but humanity had shown the galaxy a different path, one of unity, adaptability, and hope. And there was no going back. The Centauri system blazed with the light of 3 suns as Admiral Iam's combined fleet moved into position. Ships of 12 different species filled space around him, their designs as varied as their crews. This was the moment everything had led to. The final confrontation with the remnants of the old Galactic Council. Council fleet detected, his sensor officer reported. They've positioned themselves between the inner and outer planets. 500 ships, everything they have left. Admiral Iam studied the tactical display. The Council forces had arranged themselves in their traditional defensive pattern, a wall of warships stretching across the system. They expected the Coalition to attack head-on, just as enemies had done for thousands of years. In the diplomatic vessel following the fleet, Dr. Lee and her team worked on the document that would shape the galaxy's future. The new Galactic Charter was taking shape, built on principles of freedom and mutual respect rather than dominance and fear. All ships, prepare for pattern sunburst, Admiral Iam ordered. The Coalition fleet began to move, breaking into smaller groups just as human forces had done in their first victories. But this time, each group contained ships from multiple species, combining their unique abilities in ways the Council had never seen. The battle began with a flash of energy weapons and kinetic rounds. Council ships maintained their rigid formation, while Coalition forces danced around them, striking from unexpected angles. Ardarian crystal ships reflected enemy fire, while Krillian heavy cruisers provided covering fire. Human vessels darted between them, coordinating the attack with practiced precision. On the diplomatic vessel, Dr. Lee watched the battle while finalizing the charter's key points. Every species will have an equal voice, she wrote. No technology will be restricted. No world will be forced to join or stay. Freedom and sovereignty will be protected above all. The Council fleet struggled to respond to the Coalition's tactics. Their ships, designed to fight traditional battles, found themselves surrounded by enemies who refused to follow the old rules of engagement. Every time they adjusted to one strategy, the Coalition forces would switch to another. High Commissioner Zhe Yang, watching from the Coalition command ship, saw the moment the Council's formation began to break. "They're beginning to understand," he said quietly. "This isn't just about military power anymore." The battle turned decisively when several Council ships suddenly switched sides, turning their weapons on their former masters. They had seen the truth that the Coalition offered a better way forward than the old system of dominance and submission. As the fighting died down, Dr. Lee put the final touches on the Galactic Charter. The document wasn't just a peace treaty. It was a complete reimagining of how spacefaring species could coexist. Technology would be shared, not hoarded. Differences would be celebrated, not suppressed. In the aftermath, Coalition ships rescued Council crew members from disabled vessels. There would be no revenge, no punishment, just a new beginning for everyone who wanted it. The new Galactic Assembly chambers were built on a neutral world, designed to accommodate all species comfortably. When High Commissioner Yang took his place among the representatives, he was just one voice among many. Exactly as it should be. "We didn't start this war," he told the assembled delegates. "Humanity never wanted to rule the galaxy. We simply wanted the freedom to find our own path among the stars. Now we offer that same freedom to all." The former Council members, those who had chosen to join the new order, found themselves learning things they had never considered. They discovered that cooperation brought greater advances than competition, that diversity made them stronger, not weaker. As ships from dozens of species began working together to rebuild what the war had damaged, the galaxy saw the birth of something unprecedented, a true community of equals. Research teams combined different technological approaches to solve problems that had stumped individual species for centuries. "This is how it should have been from the beginning," Dr. Lee said, watching ships of former enemies working side by side to repair a damaged space station. "Not one species ruling over others, but all of us moving forward together." The lesson had been learned at great cost, but it was learned well. The galaxy discovered that true strength lay not in technological superiority or military might, but in the willingness to work together, to learn from each other, to face challenges as one. And as the stars continued their eternal dance, they shone down on a galaxy forever changed, not by conquest or submission, but by the simple, powerful idea that every voice deserved to be heard, every species deserved to be free, and the greatest adventures still lay ahead. This was the new order, not perfect, but always striving to be better. And it had started with humanity's refusal to bow down, their determination to prove that the right way wasn't always the easy way. In the end, that had made all the difference.